So I have had some big chunks of maple sitting in the woodyard for a long time, and today, this morning, we're going to break those bad boys down and get them into more manageable sized pieces. I'm not going to be using the Easton-made 37D. I'll explain why shortly. I'm also not going to be using the 500i, and the reason for that is I just don't like noodling big rounds. Now, call me crazy. I know a lot of people say the easiest way to deal with some big rounds like this is to get out your saw, noodle them down in half and noodle them down again in quarters, and that way they're more manageable. They're easier to move around. But the thing is, I don't know if it's just my personal preference. I don't like noodling with my saw. And I actually started on this one right here. I don't know if you can see that. And I think I hit something inside there because all of a sudden my saw just quit cutting. Like it just, so I don't know if there's something in there I hit, whatever. Anyway, some of you may have like the skid steer splitters. Those are ideal, those work great for this. But today I'm going to be using the Wolf Ridge right back here with the single wedge. You can roll these things up there, lift them up, send them through the wedge, let them fall off the front, and they're split in half. Boom, they're noodled, just like that. And for all of you who are concerned, yes, there is the hearing protection. All right, so I just noticed that the splitter is actually sitting a little high on this side over here, and I don't want, and all the weight's gonna be over there, so I don't want this already tipped that way. So I think what I'm gonna do is move this so it's a little more leveled out. That's a little better. Just something about taking the time to check things over. All right. So you're wondering why I'm not going to be using the Easton-made 37D to do this. One of the things I just mentioned about after you split the round, letting it just fall off the front of your log splitter. With the attached conveyor, it's going to fall onto the attached conveyor. And that's a pretty big chunk of wood coming down and possibly damaging something. The other reason I'm not going to use the 37D because I've seen this happen many, many times, and I just understand how things work. So having an understanding and knowing how certain things work can sometimes prevent things from happening, bad things from happening. So for example, if you have a big round, here, I actually got a prop. If you have a big, this is wood, but pretend this is a big round of wood, like those maples. If you send this through your box wedge, right? And your pullback arm brings it back. What's going to happen is, because it's so tall, because it's so big, it's top heavy. So when it comes off the edge of the box wedge on the return, the bottom here is going to drop down. If the bottom drops down, that means the top comes back. And where does the top go? Right back here on your controls. And it's very hard to control this and hold it up so that it will drop back down and get ready for the next cycle. Can it be done? Yes, absolutely. I could put that round up there and I could manage it, maneuver it, hold it in place, bring the box wedge back, or bring the return arm back slowly and try to drop this thing in. But why take the risk? Why not, if I've got the other piece of equipment, why not just use that where I can push the round through. After it's split, I can just let it fall off the front, and there's no real risk of damaging anything on the machine, whether on this machine it be the conveyor or the round tipping back and hitting the valves and the control handles here. So that's why we're going to use the Wolf Ridge. Get rid of this thing. So I just want to get that to where it's holding, staying in place. And I want to be on this side so when I lift it up, it doesn't roll off. Here we go. This guy wants to stay there. Noodled. Done. Next one. This big guy wants to stay together, so we're going to split him again. I'm going to try to get him up there. Let's split him in half the other way. Woo! All right, so I have one more left. That big one over there that I got to get in place. You might see that big one over there that the cant hook's on. That one I actually have to flip and cut in half this way. So this is the one that's left. It's kind of an odd shape. Might be tough to move them over there. I might have to get the coyote. But here's what we got so far. And even though that's still a big chunk of wood, that will be much more manageable with the return arm of the box wedge. So yes, is this a little bit more work than standing and holding your chainsaw as it noodles down through the round? Yes, it is. But I kind of like it. Let's see how easy this thing moves. If I roll it, it's not going to go on the way I want. So ideally, I want this center to be straight up and down with the wedge. So if I can walk this thing up onto the log lift and it's like this, when I lift it up, it should rotate over and this center should be horizontal. We'll just see if I can get it up there. Oh yeah. The morning workout is complete. Now I have more manageable sized chunks of this big maple to send through the box wedge on the 37D. And there we go. Again, just my opinion, but I'd much rather do that than stand there and burn out my saw noodling through. And that stuff, that maple was actually kind of dry and it's hardened up a little bit. So maybe maybe I just hit a big knot with my chain. I don't know. But anyway, they're in big chunks now. So the other day I was just watching some videos on YouTube and I saw Old Guy Firewood. Good friend down there. He was splitting up some big rounds of maple. But I was watching his video and it just kind of took me back to the good old days when that's what I used to always break down, great big rounds of maple or just oak, elm, whatever I had. And I would always use that single wedge and put them up there. And I don't know, to me, it's kind of what I've always done. And like I said, it's easier. It's more enjoyable for me, first of all, because I like the challenge. I like overcoming the challenge. But the other thing is I just don't like running my saw that hard. Just noodling through that big stuff. I don't know. So Dick, Old Guy Firewood, thanks for the inspiration, my friend. Glad I caught your video, and it was actually kind of fun. So that'll do it. That'll wrap up the morning workout and this video. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Stay safe, have fun, and be cool. Stay cool.
I've been a real bad boy on the town all night.